Alright guys, today we're talking about a couple of Delicas here. This blue was I believe it might even still be available, Bento Box Shop M390 Delica, sent to me by Mike from I Heart Knives. If you don't know Mike's channel, go check his channel out. Mike does some great stuff. He makes some awesome strops. Go check out his content. So that's this one. Thank you, Mike, for sending that for testing. And then the replacement ZDP-189 Delica. That was my warranty replacement. So as soon as I got this, I started testing it before I did anything with it. So I already knew long ago what this was going to do. Definitely not like the other one. Had no issues with it. I've been carrying it quite a lot. Not as my primary knife, but as my secondary. Actually enjoy the Delica in a steel like ZDP. So go ahead and watch the really sped up cutting. And if you don't want to watch it, you can forward about 2.5 minutes. And you will be back to the results and discussion about this pair of knives. Now that we saw that cutting, we'll go ahead and talk about how both of these did. I'll start out with the M390. Mike did sharpen this once before he sent it to me. And if I remember correctly, he took the edge to about 4,000 grit. And while that is not what I usually test, it was the first edge. I knew I was going to be putting more edges on it to get consistent results. Anyway, so I went ahead and tested the first edge to see what the difference would be between that and subsequent sharpening. So on the first edge, which was polished, about 4,000 grit, 165 feet fine edge, and 261 feet working edge. So I have had a few people ask, so you guys know, when I give you the working edge number, that includes the fine edge results. So for the first edge, 261 feet is the total amount that this cut before it would no longer reliably slice 20-pound printer paper against the grain. Mike did sharpen this at 18 degrees per side, just like I tested the Spyderco PM2 and M390. And the ZDP also came at 18 degrees per side. Since this isn't my knife, and to keep the test between these two consistent, I went ahead and stuck with the 18 per side. Now, the rest of these were all done the same as I normally do. 1,500 grit, diamond, 631 micron, 5 passes per side, and then we went ahead and tested. For the second edge, 197 feet fine edge, 303 feet working edge. So that's a fair jump from the first edge. And for the verification run, 199 feet fine edge, 300 feet working edge. So this M390, this particular example from Seki, was not bad. The first sharpening that Mike did took care of any overheated or fatigued steel that was down by that edge. And this was tested by Kurt after I ran it. And it is 62 HRC. It's just the Seki 62 HRC isn't quite as good as the golden stuff that is at 62 HRC. Don't know how any other ones are. It's the only example that I have cut with. I have seen a few others tested, and they all also were 62 HRC. So ZDP, how did this do? Now that example that would only make it about 45 feet or so got replaced. So I went ahead and sharpened this one 3 times, used it in between just to see how it would do. And I knew just off of the first sharpening that it was definitely a huge improvement over the one I sent in. It was, on the first edge, it was still easily slicing paper, and I was in the mid 200 feet for cardboard cutting. Put 2 more edges on it and proceeded to test. 1,500 grit, 18 degrees per side, 631 micron, 5 passes per side. The first test, I got 231 feet fine edge and 365 feet working edge. About what I got with the ZDP Endura that I don't know what happened to the footage, so you guys never saw that, but solid number for ZDP. Really enjoy using this steel. So still needed to verify it. Went ahead and sharpened it. Same way. Ran the test again. And on the second test, 232 feet fine edge and 361 feet working edge. So absolutely pleased with the results of this. I have not had this one tested by Kurt. I'm sure it will make it to him at some point, and my bet would be that it is around 64, just like most of the other ZDP that he's tested has been. I would possibly, if I can find one, like to get an S90V to test. And I do have a crewwear Delica that I am going to get to very soon to test. I think my biggest curiosity is Secchi does a really good job on the steels that they work with all the time. ZDP, VG10. I don't know how much K390 they work with, but they did an awesome job on the Police 4 K390. I'm hoping we see the same in the upcoming Delica, Endura, all the other ones that they're putting out in K390 from Secchi. Is there anything wrong with this? Absolutely not. This still, even at 303 feet working edge, I believe this is about the 6th best M390 that I have tested to date. And the only ones that have beat it were a couple of Riot M390, a couple of Shirogorov M390, and the Paramilitary 2 M390. So absolutely solid. I will be doing some more with this, or I may just grab an Endura and go ahead and do that. But like I said, pleased with this. You guys have any questions, anything you want to discuss, put it down below. I'll be happy to talk about it with you. That's all I have for this. As always, I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.